A 78-year-old man sat alone on his porch watching the sun go down. He had money in the bank, kids who visited occasionally, and medications lined up in the cabinet. But within 3 months, he was gone. No heart attack, no cancer, no warning, just silence. And here's the chilling part: his death wasn't caused by disease, it was caused by neglect. Neglect of 5 silent habits that quietly destroy life after 70. I'm Dr. James, a men's health specialist with over 30 years of experience helping seniors across America live stronger, longer, and more connected lives mentally, physically, and emotionally. I've walked this path with thousands of older men and women, and I've seen what truly makes the difference between aging gracefully and fading prematurely. You've been told it's your cholesterol, your joints, your genes. But what if I told you that those aren't the real killers after 70? What if the truth is far more subtle, more emotional, and more personal? Because the biggest threats to your life aren't found in medical reports. They're found in what you no longer do every day. In this video, I'll reveal 5 critical reasons why many seniors never make it past 80, and more importantly, what you can start doing today to change that outcome. These aren't wild theories. They're evidence-based habits that I've seen extend lives, restore relationships, and reignite purpose in seniors who thought it was already too late. And I'll warn you, reason number 3 is the one no one dares to talk about publicly. But it may be the very thing draining your energy, weakening your heart, and quietly shortening your life. So don't go anywhere. This could change everything. Before we continue, if this message is already speaking to your heart, take a moment to hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell. I share powerful health insights like this every week to help you live longer, stronger, and more connected. And if this video resonates with you, type 1 in the comments. If you think I can do better, type 0. Your voice matters more than you know. So now, let's dive into the 5 powerful yet often overlooked reasons why so many elderly people never make it past 80, and what you can start doing today to change that outcome. 1. Loneliness, the hidden killer that speeds up aging. I'll never forget a patient I once had, Mr. Harold, 76 years old. He wasn't sick, he wasn't frail, he had decent lab results, steady blood pressure, and no serious diagnosis. But every time he walked into my office, there was a heaviness in his eyes, a quiet sadness. His wife had passed away 5 years earlier, his children lived across the country, and most of his friends were gone. He would tell me, "Doc, I go days without hearing another voice." A year later, he was gone, and the cause of death? Officially, heart failure. But if you ask me, it was something deeper: loneliness. Loneliness isn't just a feeling, it's a biological stressor. When you feel disconnected, your brain triggers a threat response, pumping out cortisol, weakening your immune system, raising your blood pressure, and increasing inflammation. In fact, studies have shown that loneliness can increase the risk of early death by as much as 45%. That's higher than obesity, higher than smoking. And yet most people shrug it off as just part of getting older. But it's not. It's not normal, and it's not harmless. As we age, we don't just need medication and exercise, we need connection. Humans are wired for it. We thrive on touch, conversation, laughter, and love. When that disappears, it doesn't just hurt emotionally, it accelerates physical decline. Your memory slips faster, your muscles weaken quicker, your energy fades more each week. I've seen people come back to life, literally, just by rekindling friendships, joining a senior group, volunteering at a local shelter, or even getting a dog. Don't underestimate the power of hearing your name spoken with warmth or sharing a meal with someone who listens. If you're watching this and thinking, "That's me," then let me say this clearly: you still matter. And there are people out there who need your voice, your wisdom, and your presence more than you know. But loneliness isn't the only silent threat creeping into our later years. There's another force that robs older adults of their vitality, and it's one no one dares to talk about. It lives in silence and shame, and yet it plays a powerful role in how long and how well you live. Let's talk about it next. 2. Loss of intimacy and sexual expression. There's something no one warned me about when I first began treating older adults. It wasn't in the textbooks. It wasn't mentioned in medical school, but I began to notice it quietly, patient after patient. Men and women who looked perfectly healthy on paper, yet seemed distant, disconnected, even hollow. And when I gently asked about their relationships, their touch, their intimacy, they would lower their gaze and say, "That part of my life is over." But the truth is, that's rarely true. More often, it's been pushed aside, forgotten, or quietly buried under shame, fear, or cultural silence. As we age, many assume that intimacy no longer matters. But from what I've seen, the absence of sexual expression, whether through physical touch, closeness, or even solitary intimacy, can quietly drain a person's vitality. It's not just about desire, it's about being connected to your body, your sense of self-worth, your hormones, your circulation, and yes, even your will to live. When you stop engaging with your own body, when you stop allowing yourself to feel pleasure, closeness, or even the warmth of a meaningful touch, something begins to shut down inside. Testosterone drops, circulation slows, energy fades, and depression quietly takes root. I've seen strong men crumble emotionally and vibrant women become withdrawn, simply because they believed they no longer had the right to feel desired or intimate again. The science supports this too. Regular intimacy, whether with a partner or through solo expression, boosts heart health, brain function, immune strength, and even sleep quality. But beyond science, there's something deeper. It reminds you that you're still human, that you're still here, that you still deserve connection, not just social, but physical, emotional, and yes, sexual. If this topic makes you uncomfortable, you're not alone. Many older adults were raised in an era where this subject was never openly discussed. But I promise you this, there is no shame in being alive, in desiring, in feeling. Because losing intimacy is not just about losing sex, it's about losing part of what makes us feel alive. And if you think this is the most dangerous thing robbing you of life after 70, just wait until you hear what apathy is doing to your brain, your body, and your soul. What I reveal next might surprise you. 3. Apathy, the silent shrinkage of the soul. This is the one I warned you about in the beginning, and it's the one I've seen destroy more lives after 70 than most diseases ever could. Apathy doesn't show up on an X-ray. It doesn't scream for attention. It creeps in quietly, stealing your energy, your motivation, and eventually your will to keep going. I've sat across from men who once led companies and women who raised entire families and watched them slowly become shadows of who they used to be, not because of illness, but because they stopped caring. It often starts small. You skip one walk, you cancel one plan, you stop setting goals, you stop looking forward to anything. And then, without even realizing it, you begin to live on autopilot. You go through the motions, eating, sleeping, watching TV, but nothing sparks joy anymore. That's apathy. It's not laziness. It's not tiredness. It's a loss of inner fire, and when that fire goes out, the body often follows. Your brain needs purpose just as much as your heart needs oxygen. When you stop challenging yourself, stop learning, stop engaging with life, your neurons start to slow down. Your memory dulls. Your muscles weaken. You begin to lose balance, literally and emotionally. And worst of all, you begin to believe the lie that this is just what old age looks like. But I'm here to tell you, it's not. I've seen people reignite their lives in their 70s and 80s just by finding something new to care about. A painting class, a garden, a part-time job, mentoring a younger person, taking up the piano after decades. It's not about being productive, it's about staying passionate. Your brain thrives when you're curious. Your body follows when your spirit leads. Apathy is the thief that convinces you to settle for less than you deserve. But you still have time to push back, to take one step forward and say, "I'm not done yet." Now you might think that's the root of it all, but there's something even more dangerous, something that poisons your body from the inside out. It's the emotional weight we carry every day without even realizing it. and it's shortening more lives than you'd ever imagine. Let me show you what I mean. 4. Chronic stress and resentment. You'd be amazed how many older adults walk around carrying a weight no one else can see. It's not arthritis or back pain, it's the weight of unspoken resentment and chronic stress that's been building for decades. I see it in their faces. I hear it in the quiet pauses between their words. A lifetime of holding in frustration, disappointment, and regret. I remember one man in his late 70s. He had survived cancer, raised a family, and built a life. But his blood pressure stayed dangerously high, his sleep was poor, and his energy was gone. When I asked about his stress, he shook his head and muttered, "I don't let things bother me anymore." But as we talked, it came out. Bitterness toward a brother he hadn't spoken to in 20 years. Anger over how his children treated him. Grief he'd never allowed himself to feel, and underneath it all, a tightness in his chest that wasn't physical but emotional. Here's the truth. Resentment is a silent toxin. When you carry it year after year, it turns into inflammation in the body. It raises cortisol, strains your heart, weakens your immunity, and shortens your life. It's like drinking poison and hoping someone else suffers. And chronic stress? That's its twin. Whether it's financial worry, fear of being alone, or just feeling like you're running out of time, it slowly chips away at your vitality. But there's something freeing in letting go. I've seen men cry for the first time in decades and walk out of my office 10 pounds lighter in spirit. Forgiveness isn't weakness, it's release. It's not about saying what happened was okay, it's about choosing peace over poison. Journaling, prayer, therapy, or simply speaking your truth out loud can be enough to shift something deep inside. Don't wait for an apology that may never come. Set yourself free. Your body and your future will thank you. Because what's coming next is the final blow most people never notice until it's too late. It's not emotional, it's physical. But it begins the moment you stop honoring your body. And once it starts, everything, from your muscles to your independence, begins to unravel. Let's talk about that now. 5. Stopping physical touch, movement, and body confidence. I once visited a man named Leonard in a small assisted living home. He was 82, sharp-witted, kind-hearted, and full of stories. But when I asked about his daily routine, he sighed and said, "I mostly just sit now. I don't want to fall." I asked if anyone hugged him lately or if he danced, even swayed to music. He chuckled, "That's for the younger folks now." But I knew what he really meant was, I've stopped trusting my body. And that's where the slow unraveling begins. You see, when older adults stop moving, they're not just resting, they're sending a signal to the body that it's time to shut down. Muscles weaken, balance fades, circulation slows, and confidence, the belief that your body still works, still serves you, quietly disappears. The more still you become, the faster your independence slips through your fingers. But it's not just about movement. It's about touch, a handshake, a warm hug, a shoulder rub, even the simple act of placing your hand on your chest and taking a deep breath. Touch is healing. It increases oxytocin, lowers blood pressure, soothes anxiety, and yet so many seniors go days, even weeks, without it. It's not right, because your body doesn't stop needing care just because it's older. In fact, it needs it more. What hurts me most is watching older people treat their bodies like they're already gone. Wearing old clothes, avoiding mirrors, never brushing their hair with pride anymore. But your body is your home, and when you respect it, when you stretch it, move it, touch it with kindness, it begins to respond. Slowly but surely, it wakes up again. Confidence doesn't come from youth. It comes from presence, from saying, "This is my body and I'm still here." So if you've been still for too long, I encourage you, take a short walk today, stretch your arms, touch your skin, feel the aliveness beneath it. And now that you understand the 5 silent habits that steal years from your life, let me show you something even more important. The small, powerful things you can do starting today to reverse the damage and feel alive again. What comes next might just be the beginning of your second act. 6. What you can do. starting today. If you've made it this far, I want to thank you, not just for watching, but for caring enough about your life to listen. That says something powerful about you. And if any part of this message has stirred something inside, regret, hope, sadness, determination, then you're already taking the first step toward change, because awareness is where healing begins. So let's talk about what you can actually do, starting today. No complicated programs, no waiting for the right time, just small, meaningful actions that send one simple message to your body and your soul. I'm not done yet. First, reach out. Call someone you haven't spoken to in a while. You don't need a reason, just say, "I was thinking of you." That one phone call might be the beginning of rebuilding the connection your heart has been craving. Next, move your body, not for exercise, but for life. Stand up, stretch, walk to the mailbox, dance slowly in your kitchen, even if no one's watching. Movement tells your body that it still matters. Then allow yourself to feel. If you've been carrying resentment, write a letter, even if you never send it. If you've held back tears, let them fall. And if there's love you've been holding in, give it freely. Touch someone's hand, hug longer, smile first. Don't ignore your need for intimacy, whether with a partner or on your own. Reconnect with your body. Don't let shame keep you from experiencing something that nourishes your health, your mood, and your confidence. Finally, reclaim your purpose. Pick up that hobby you left behind. Learn something new. Volunteer. Mentor someone younger. Your story isn't over, it's just waiting for the next chapter. The truth is, it doesn't take massive change to shift your path. Just a little courage, a little curiosity, a willingness to say, maybe there's still more for me. So start small, start where you are, but whatever you do, don't stay still. Because the difference between making it to 80 and thriving far beyond it often comes down to the quiet choices you make when no one's watching. And today you get to choose something better. Conclusion: you deserve more life than years. I've spent over 3 decades sitting across from men and women who thought their best days were behind them. Some of them came to me with fear in their eyes, others with silence. But the ones who lived the longest and, more importantly, lived with the most peace, they all had one thing in common. At some point, they made the decision to stop waiting for permission to live again. Maybe something in this video spoke to you. Maybe it was the loneliness you never talk about, or the loss of intimacy you've quietly accepted. Maybe it was the creeping sense of apathy, or the heaviness of resentment you've carried for far too long. Or maybe it was that slow fade in confidence as your body started to feel foreign to you. Wherever you saw yourself, please know this: recognition is the beginning of change. You are not too old, you are not too late, and the damage you fear may already be done can still be reversed with something as simple and as powerful as choice. The choice to move, even when it's just a few steps. The choice to call someone, forgive someone, love someone. The choice to touch, to be touched, to be seen. The choice to let go of the idea that your life must get smaller with each passing year. The truth is, you don't just need more time, you need more life in your time. And that means reclaiming what aging tries to take away: your spark, your connection, your sense of meaning. I've seen it happen again and again. A man who took up woodworking again at 75. A woman who started dancing every morning at 80. A couple who rediscovered intimacy in their late 70s and said it brought them back to life. These aren't miracles, they're choices. You deserve more than just survival. You deserve to thrive. And if no one has told you this lately, let me be the one who does. You're still here, and that means something. You still have time. You still have worth, and the second half of your life might just be the most meaningful part if you choose to live it. If this message touched you, don't let it end here. Subscribe to this channel so you never miss another life-changing insight made just for you. And if you're ready to take back your health, your energy, and your purpose, leave a comment below and type, "I'm still here." Let that be your first bold step forward, because this isn't the end of your story. It's just the beginning.